there, welcome to the C.A. Dixon channel, where as part of me documenting my journey from emerging writer to successful author, I have picked up some information along the way that I thought I'd share with you. If you're a novelist like me, or you generally gravitate towards a more long-form style of writing, and you've started the submission process, then you have probably faced a ton of rejection. Now, this is not an indictment about your writing style at all. In fact, it's the exact opposite, because rejection, honestly, is a huge part of the submissions process. And most likely, those rejections are just canned responses, and they don't really offer you much feedback. Which is where this video comes into play, because sometimes it's just good to switch things up. I got really disillusioned by the whole novel submission and rejection process, so I decided to start writing short stories, and at the time I had no idea how beneficial it would be to me and my writing. With short stories, you have a few words to say a lot, so it got me out of my rut of being more long-winded, and it helped me approach my storytelling in a totally different way. I have a file folder full of ideas for future novels, and so I just grabbed a subject from there and tasked myself with consolidating the idea down to its main essentials. And brevity was key. I let myself write until I felt the story was done, but whittled it down to its barest essentials. Now, if you don't have a file folder full of ideas, it's no big deal at all. You can always write a short story to brief. Many of the literary magazines with open submissions will want content based on specific parameters, whether it's the general theme of the publication or the theme of the current issue. Either way, the prompt will be very specific and will probably include a word count maximum. The other great thing about writing short stories is the submissions process, because literary magazines work at a much faster pace. And there are a number of advantages to literary magazine submissions. The first is they're more likely to read the whole piece instead of just an excerpt. And secondly, and this is probably my favorite, is that because these literary magazines are highly curated and run by writers themselves, you're more likely to get really tailored feedback. And piggybacking on that, if your work is accepted, you get to work with one of their highly skilled editors, and that could be wildly educational and can help you make improvements in your writing that you might not have achieved by yourself. And lastly, just to be clear, it is much easier to get a short story published than it is a novel. Now, moving on to targeting the literary magazines themselves. A while back, I made a video about newsletters to subscribe to, which I've linked in the description. Many of those newsletters I suggested will feature lists of those online or physical literary magazine publications. And with those lists, you will see open calls for submissions, the deadline for submission, and their acceptance rates. And as an added bonus, I will include a link in the description to a list of the literary magazines that I've compiled along the way. A few caveats with this list though. This list is nowhere near exhaustive. I don't write flash fiction, poetry, or essays, so this list won't feature any of the literary magazines that feature those formats. Another minor caveat is that I'm US based, so I haven't included a ton of international outlets. If you found this content helpful, let me know in the comments. And if you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.